patterns or sewing garments. Understanding how to balance wearing and ease allowance to a garment is essential to ensure comfort, fit, and mobility to your body type.
The cheese stands alone. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the cheese stands alone. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the cheese stands alone.
Hi everyone, welcome back to part 5. Here we will be drafting the side panel. Drafting a jacket side panel and incorporating side vents needs careful projecting and detailed finishing. This development does not only improve the fit and relaxation of the jacket, but also adds style variations, functionality to design elements, and design interest by contouring the body. So, in our continuation video part 5, we will explore the detailed process of calculating the side panel of any coat or a jacket in a step-by-step way, as well as integrating side vents. Ladies and gentlemen, the side panel component is vital because it contributes to the overall shape of achieving both tailored fit and defining the silhouette stroke the pictorial attractiveness of the garment, most especially around the waist and hips. Okay, and the following accurate measurements are crucial for a well-fitted jacket. You will need the bust stroke chest measurements measured around the fullest part of the bust stroke the chest. You'll also need waist measurements measured around the natural waist. You need hip measurements measured around the fullest part of your hips. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we also need a prepared or a completed front and back panels. If you haven't watched how we drafted this back panel and the front panel, please, I request you go back and watch this episode so that you are not left behind. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting time, let us delve into the drafting of our jacket side panel pattern.
The farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell.
Begin by marking out loose stroke is allowance. As we add is allowance, begin with accurate bodice block based on these measurements that we have been using throughout this project. If you remember, we used these measurements when we're drafting the back panel, the front panel, and even when we're inserting design elements to the front panel. So these are the measurements we are still using in the drafting of our side panel.
The farmer takes the wife, the farmer takes the wife. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the farmer takes the wife.
So let us continue with inserting our is allowance to this pattern. At the center front button guideline, let us add wearing is allowance of 3 inches, typically to key areas such as the hips,
the wife takes the child,
3 inches, the waist,
the wife takes the child. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the wife takes the child,
3 inches, and the bust stroke the chest line. This helps us to ensure comfortable movement. Additionally, this design is added to achieve a specific look or a style. But depending on the design and the style you are making, you can add more for loose fit or less for tight fit. But as for me, I have added 3 inches for medium fit. That means my 2 panels have added 3 inches, giving me a total of 6 inches. So the whole of my jacket, I will have added 6 inches as is allowance. Okay. Now, we are done with marking out the is allowance. Next step is let us create the side panel.
The child takes the nurse, the child takes the nurse. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the child.
Now, while drafting the side panel, we will be using the back and the front panels that we drafted in our previous video. If you haven't seen how we drafted these panels, still I request you go back and watch how we came up with these back panel and the front panel.
The child takes the nurse, the child takes the nurse. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the child takes the nurse.
So, firstly measure the width of your back panel at the hip stroke hemline, excluding seam allowances. I repeat, you exclude these seam allowances that we added while drafting this back panel. So, at the hip stroke hemline, measure from point K to 6. Here I have the hip width of my back panel, 7 inches. Now, carry these 7 inches to the front panel at this 3-inch loose allowance point that we determined previously. I've labeled it EA, meaning is allowance point. In case you've missed this part, how we came up with this EA is allowance point, please, I request you rewind back this video to its beginning and see how we came up with this point.
Farmer in the dell.
Then extend the side seam of the front and the back bodice block to the desired width to create the side panel. At this loose or is allowance point, minus 7 inches of the back hip width. Then measure continuous your exact hip measurements, divide by 2. Then add 1.5 inches for seam allowance. For this tutorial, my hip is 43. I divide by 2, giving me 21 inches. So I mark 21 inches here.
Farmer in
Plus 1.5 inches for seam allowance.
the dell. The farmer in
Square up the same measurements to the chest line point.
the dell. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. The farmer takes the wife, the farmer takes the wife. Hi-ho, the dairy-o.
After, label this point R and this point S.
The wife takes
Then square down a straight line connecting point S to R to create a temporal side seam guideline.
the child, the wife takes the child. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the wife takes the child takes the nurse, the child takes the nurse.
Then at this intersection point of the waistline, I label it point T.
Oh, the dairy-o, the child takes the nurse.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next step is creating the curvature of our side panel seam line. At point T, measure and mark inwards from point T your hip measurements minus belly measurements, divide by 4 to get point V. That means in this tutorial my hip measurements is 43. I minus the belly measurements 35, giving me 8 inches. I divide this 8 inches by 4, giving me 2 inches. So I mark my 2 inches here.
The nurse takes the cow, the nurse takes the cow. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the nurse takes the cow takes the dog, the cow.
After, draft a curved side panel that tapers slightly towards the waist and flares out gently towards the hip by connecting point S, V, R all the way to hem allowance line in order to create side panel back seam line.
Cow takes the dog. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the cow takes the dog.
My people, ensure that the side panel aligns correctly with the back panel for a seamless fit.
The dog takes the cat. The dog takes the cat.
Here, I want us to go slowly so that my friend Emmanuel, I read your comment. You were like, yeah, you don't know why you are still finding it difficult to understand the suit making using draft papers. You've watched several videos to understand suit making, but it is still hard. My friend, I just want to tell you, watch these videos step by step, pause them, or if you can download them, then you watch at your own convenience. You will understand. And I know where the challenge is on the side panel, mostly how to get the side panel. Please, wherever you are, I promise if you follow these steps slowly, watch the video while pausing it, you will come at par with the rest of the world in drafting this. And if there is another formula which is more simple, please let us help our brother Emmanuel from wherever he is.
Hi ho the dairy-o, the dog takes the cat takes the mouse, the cat takes the mouse. Hi ho the dairy-o, the cat takes the mouse.
Okay, now extend this line upwards towards the across back height line.
Dairy-o, the cat takes the mouse.
Try to blend the curves to match the shape of the back body's block seamlessly.
The mouse takes the cheese, the mouse takes the cheese. Hi ho the dairy-o, the mouse takes the cheese.
Next is working on the chest line of our side panel. Remeasure the width of your back panel across back. Exclude seam allowance, like this. Here I have the across back width 7.75 inches. Note, make sure you exclude seam allowances. Now, carry this 7.75 inches to the front panel at this 3-inch loose allowance point. Still, if you haven't known how we got to this point, please rewind back the video and see how we came up with this is allowance point. Okay. At this loose allowance point, minus 7.75 inches of across back width, then measure continuous your exact chest stroke bust measurements, divide by 2 plus 1.5 inches for seam allowance. In this tutorial, we are still using our measurements that we've been using while drafting the back, the front, and now when we're drafting the side panel. So in this tutorial, my chest measurement is 38. I divide it by 2, giving me 19 inches. So here is my 19 inches.
The cheese stands alone.
Plus 1.5 inches for seam allowance.
The mouse takes the cheese stands alone. The cheese stands alone. Hi ho the dairy-o, the cheese stands alone. Hi ho the dairy-o, the cheese stands alone.
Label this point W. Now, we need to create the shaping of our side panel. Now, to ensure a smooth transition from the underarm, shift the measurements from S to W. Here I have 3.5 inches. I shift it to 0.14 in this way. Then from 0.14, I mark what I got from SW, which was 3.5. I mark it here to create point X.
The farmer in the dell. Hi ho the dairy-o, the farmer in.
Next is to curve our underarm line. Mark downwards from point X to Y, 0.75 inches for your underarm line.
In the dell, the farmer in the dell. Hi ho the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. The farmer takes the wife, the farmer takes the wife.
At point N, measure and mark inwards N to O, 0.75 inches. There is a mistake that I made. I know it is not deliberate. Here I marked 0.25 inches, but it should be 0.75 inches, not 0.25 inches. At point W, measure and mark downwards 0.5 inches for the curvature at the arm line.
Hi-ho the dairy-o, the farmer takes the wife.
Now, connect point O, P, Z and Y in a curvy way to create side panel under arm line curve.
Hi-ho the dairy-o, the farmer.
Okay, use a French curve to add curvature to the side panel edges, ensuring a smooth transition from the underarm to the waist and to the hem. But you need to blend the curves to match the shapes of the front and back bodice blocks seamlessly. By connecting point Y, K, P and Q together to create a complete side panel front seam line.
The wife takes the child, the wife takes the child. Hi-ho the dairy-o, the wife takes the child.
Last but not the least, that is step 5B. Finalizing the details of the side panel by inserting the vent options.
The child takes the nurse, the child takes the nurse. Hi-ho the dairy-o, the child takes the nurse.
Now, we are going to opt for the side vent. Measure and mark upwards from point R to P to determine the length and placement of the side vent. The common placements are from hip to the hem or from the waist to the hem. Note, consider the style of the vent, which is straight, angled or curved. For design, the sky is the limit.
The nurse takes the cow, the nurse takes the cow. Hi-ho the dairy.
Therefore, measure and mark upwards from point R to P along this extended side seam, typically 6 to 9 inches. But for this tutorial, I'm marking vent height 9 inches.
The nurse takes the cow takes the dog, the cow takes the dog. Hi-ho the dairy-o, the cow takes the dog.
At point P, mark the vent opening width 2 inches.
The dog takes.
Then I label this point 8. Square these measurements to the hemline. Ladies and gentlemen, once satisfied with the fit, finalize the side panel and side vent patterns by connecting these points together all the way to the hem allowance line to create the side vent.
The dog takes the cat. Hi-ho the dairy-o, the dog takes the cat.
Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. Do you know that we have just drafted our side panel with incorporated side vents? See how they are. Wow, this is nice. Next but not the least is adding seam allowance to the side panel. Typically, 1.5 centimeters or 0.5 inches is okay to all edges that will be sewn together. Ensure to add seam allowances to the top, underarm or the waist, side seam and bottom edges of the side panel. But for this tutorial, when we're drafting the coat, this side panel already has the ease allowances. So we are going to extract our seam allowances from this very draft of ours. Since I'm using Adobe Illustrator, I will come to Objects, Path, Offset Path. I mark minus 0.5 inches. Already see how I've created my seam allowance. It's all about now making adjustments. Now here at the hemline, I don't need the ease allowance. Already I added my hem allowance, so I adjust it in this format. Perfect. Now our panel is already with the seam allowance. This one, I think it is food for you as a designer or a beginner. Once you have drafted all the panels and elements of the jacket, don't forget to add seam allowance. I repeat, don't forget to add seam allowance. Normally, when we are drafting our patterns, I include seam allowances in it. So it's a matter of you extracting it. But in case you are drafting your pattern without including seam allowance, my friends, I do request after add seam allowance. You can add more of the seam allowance that you can trim it off after when you've already joined so that you don't get fabric shortage. If you are neat enough, you can go ahead and add the exact seam allowance of your choice. But standard 0.5 inches is okay.
Farmer in the dell, the farmer in the dell. Hi ho the dairy-o, the farmer in the dell. The farmer takes the wife, the farmer takes the wife.
Oh, my people, thank you so much all the way from the beginning up to where we have reached. I hope you've enjoyed. Please, if you've enjoyed this, please, I request at least share this video, like it, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You know, the more you subscribe and like and share my videos, I'm really inspired. It gives me momentum to create more videos. Oh, I will be happy. I'll be happy.
Hi ho the dairy-o, the farmer takes the wife.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. By carefully calculating the side panel for your double-breasted blazer, you are one step closer to achieving a tailored and a stylish garment. So, stay tuned for more garment construction insights. What do I have? I say bye-bye. See you in my next video. What will it be? Guess what? Should we draft the sleeves for this pattern, or we draft the collar for this panel? So give me what to do first, the sleeves or the collar for this pattern. Leave your comment in the comment section down below. I would wish to see it, and I see which one should I begin with, the collar or the side. For today, allow me to say bye. See you in what you have chosen in the comment section video. Shalom. I sign out.
The nurse, hi ho the dairy-o, the child takes the nurse. The nurse takes the cow, the nurse takes the cow. Hi ho the dairy-o, the nurse takes the cow. The cow takes the dog, the cow takes the dog. Hi ho the dairy-o, the cow takes the dog. The dog takes the cat, the dog takes the cat. Hi ho the dairy-o, the dog takes the cat. The cat takes the mouse, the cat takes the mouse. Hi ho the dairy-o, the cat takes the mouse. The mouse takes the cheese, the mouse takes the cheese. Hi ho the dairy-o, the mouse takes the cheese. It stands alone, the cheese stands alone. Hi ho the dairy-o, the cheese stands alone. Hi ho the dairy-o, the cheese stands alone.